November 2016, India witnessed an unprecedented economic upheaval when the government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the demonetization of rupees 500 and 1000 rupee banknotes. 86% of countries circulating currency by value. Overnight, these notes ceased to be legal tender, plunging millions into chaos as they scrambled to exchange or deposit their cash. The stated goals were to curb black money, eliminate counterfeit currency, and push India to a digital economy. How the move exposed the vulnerabilities of centralized control over money, sparking interest in decentralized alternatives like Bitcoin. Today, we are going to explore the fallout of demonetization, critics government overreach in monetary systems, and highlights why Bitcoin represents a beacon of financial sovereignty and resilience. On November 8, 2016, the government announcement stunned a nation where cash was king. India's economy was heavily cash dependent, with over 90% of transactions conducted in paper currency, particularly in rural areas and informal sector. Small businesses, daily wage earners, and farmers were hit hardest. Long queues formed outside banks and ATMs, with people desperate to exchange old notes or withdraw limited amounts of new currency. 2000 rupee notes and 5500 notes were introduced later. Reports emerged of elderly citizens collapsed in line, weddings being postponed, and medical emergencies going unattended due to cash shortages. The government's execution was flawed. Banks were unprepared, ATMs ran dry, and Reserve Bank of India struggled to print and distribute new notes fast enough. Economic activity stalled with GDP growth for the October-December 2016 quarter dropping to 7%, down from 7.4% in the previous quarter. According to official estimates, informal sectors like agriculture and construction, which employed millions, faced severe disruptions. In 2018, study by the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy estimated that 1.5 million jobs were lost in the immediate aftermath. The stated objectives yielded mixed results. Black money, often held in assets like real estate or gold, wasn't significantly dented as much as demonetized currency. 99.3% as per RBI data. Return to banking system suggested hoarders found way to launder it. Counterfeit currency was a minor issue, with fake notes constituting less than 0.02% of circulation. The push for digital payments saw a temporary spike in platforms like Paytm, but cash usage rebounded within months, with currency in circulation surpassing pre-demonetization levels of 2018. Demonetization exposed the fragility of a system where central authority could invalidate people's wealth overnight. It wasn't just about logistics, it was a stark reminder of how governments wield unchecked power over fiat currency, dictating its value and accessibility. For many Indians, trust in the social system eroded, paving the way for curiosity about alternatives like Bitcoin. Centralized control over currency is a double-edged sword. Governments and central banks argue its necessity for economic stability, taxation, and policy implementation. Yet demonetization laid bare the risks of this monopoly. When a single entity can render money worthless, it undermines the very trust that fiat system relies on. India's experiment wasn't unique. Examples like Zimbabwe's hyperinflation or Venezuela's currency collapse shows how state mismanagement can devastate economies. Fiat money, backed by government decree rather than in intrinsic value, is vulnerable to manipulation. Central banks can print money at will, leading to inflation that erodes savings. In India, post demonetization inflation fluctuated, with consumer price index inflation hitting 5.2% in early 2017, partly due to supply chain disruptions. Government can also freeze accounts, impose capital controls, or as India did, invalidate currency, leaving citizens at their mercy. Beyond economics, centralized money enables surveillance and control. Every bank transaction is traceable, allowing governments to monitor and, if desired, restrict financial freedom. In authoritarian regimes, this power can suppress dissents by cutting off funds to activists or opposition groups. Even in democracies, overreach is a risk. India's post demonetization overreach India's post demonetization push for Aadhaar linked bank accounts raised privacy concerns with fears of mass surveillance looming large. Demonetization wasn't just a policy misstep, it was a symptom of deeper flaw in fiat systems. Dependency on falling institutions when trust in those institutions wins, people seek alternatives that empowers them, not subjugate them. Enter Bitcoin. Bitcoin, created in 2000, named by Satoshi Nakamoto, is a decentralized cryptocurrency that operates on peer-to-peer network, free from government or corporate control. Unlike fiat money, Bitcoin supply is capped at 21 million coins, with issuance governed by mathematical rules, not arbitrary policy. Its blockchain, a transparent, immutable ledger, ensures transactions are secure and verifiable without intermediaries like bank. In the wake of demonetization, Bitcoin gained traction in India. As cash vanished, those aware of the cryptocurrencies turned to Bitcoin for transaction as a store of value. Local exchanges like Zeppay and Unocoin report a surge in signups, with trading volumes spiking in the late 2016 to and early 2017. Bitcoin's price, around $700 pre-demonetization, climbed to $1,000 by January 2017, reflecting global and local demand. So, why did Bitcoin resonate? First, it's immune to demonetization style decrees. No government can invalidate Bitcoin or seize it without private keys, which users control. This sovereignty appealed to Indians who felt betrayed by the government's cash ban. Second, Bitcoin transcends border. In a cash-strapped economy, with those with internet access could receive payments or remittances in Bitcoin, bypassing banking bottlenecks. Third, its fixed supply protects against inflation, unlike fiat, which governments can dilute. Bitcoin's rise wasn't just practical, it was a philosophical. Demonetization showed how centralized systems prioritize control over individual welfare. Bitcoin, by contrast, is built on trustlessness. You don't need to trust a bank or government, only the code and the network. For a generation disillusioned by top down policies, this was liberating. Bitcoin's ascent wasn't without hurdles. In India, adoption was limited to low awareness, patchy internet access, and steep learning curve. Many viewed cryptocurrencies with suspicion, fueled by media reports of scams and volatility. Bitcoin's price swing, while a boon for traders, deterred conservative savers used to fixed deposits. The government, sensing a threat to its monetary grip, responded harshly. In 2008, RBI banned banks from dealing with crypto exchanges, citing risks like money laundering and fraud. This choked the industry, forcing exchanges to pivot to peer to peer models or shut down. The ban, overturned by the Supreme Court in 2020, reflected the state's discomfort with systems that it couldn't control. Globally, similar resistance persists. Government imposed tax regulations or outright ban to tether, tether Bitcoin to their framework. Yes, Bitcoin endures. Its decentralized nature means no single point of failure. No nodes worldwide keep the network running, and miners secure it through proof of work. India's crypto community grew despite ban, with grassroots education and innovation flourishing. By 2025, India ranks among the top nations for crypto adoption, with millions holding Bitcoin or other tokens as per industry reports. Demonetization was a wake up call, not just for India but for the world. It showed how quickly centralized systems can falter, leaving citizens vulnerable. Bitcoin offers counter narrative, a system where individuals, not institutions, hold the rein. It's not perfect. Scalability, energy use, and regulatory uncertainty remain challenges, but its core premise is unshakable. In a world of growing state overreach, Bitcoin is a hedge against control. For India, the lesson is clear. A nation of 1.4 billion deserves a financial system that empowers, not restricts. Bitcoin isn't a panacea, but a step towards resilience. Imagine a farmer paying suppliers in Bitcoin during a cash crunch, or a freelancer earning global income without bank delays. These aren't hypothetical, they are happening quietly, revolutionizing lives. As governments tighten their grip on money, Bitcoin allures grow. It's a reminder that wealth belongs to the people, not to the state. Demonetization may have been a policy blunder, but it lit a spark. Bitcoin is the flame, burning brighter than every overreach, offering a future where financial freedom isn't just a dream, it's a reality.